So we covered how to properly bag and board your books. If you're collecting but also reading, this is how you want to read your books to not damage them. Because over time, and even with one reading, you could damage a book's value by the spine of the book. You see how it's just clean like that. There's no little white lines or anything like that. Let me show you what that looks like. So here's an old Iron Man comic. This is why I don't use tape. Here's a great example of why I hate people putting tape on comic bags. This was shipped to me like this, and so I go to open it, and the tape catches on the book's cover. Now, that could easily have ripped the cover. I think it's idiotic. Why are you putting tape on a comic book? I'll never do it. It's unnecessary. Anyways, pet peeve of mine, my bad. But anyway, so here's a book that was not taken care of, that has these, you see these little white lines? They're really prominent here. It's kind of got this sort of bend to it. So that comes from somebody reading it improperly. Right? Basically opening it all the way up, even folding it behind and reading it. Please don't do this if you care about your books. So here's how you want to do it. All right? Here's a book that is in perfect condition, mint condition. It's a brand new book. So you just want to delicately open it and let it fall open. You know, don't tear through it like it's some magazine. You don't have to completely fully open the spine. You see how I'm sort of holding it like this in the V shape? You just kind of hold it like that, your hands here, and just keep it from opening wide out. Make sure it stays creased, like stays folded, like this, like that. And then you just, page through it delicately. It's not rocket science. It's not super complicated. It's common sense, basically. You just want to take care of it. A lot of people don't know, though, that opening it all the way will damage the spine. Also, obviously, folding the book, this is common sense. You just be gentle with it. Take care of it. Show it some love. And when you're done, immediately rebag it. Don't sit it on the coffee table. No need for tape. Just fold it in. Tuck it in. Alright, so that's how you read your collectible comics. I sometimes do bag my graphic novels. That's just a personal preference, but you can't bag graphic novel in these books. So these bags. There's different size bags, okay? This is what you would just call poly bags, right? There's modern, right, or current, because comic books today are a little smaller than they used to be. As you go back farther, like your golden age and silver age comics, from the 60s or from the 50s and 40s and things like that, they're actually wide. So they have a special bag that's, about, a little wider. I use those for my graphic novels that I want to bag. And I don't bag my graphic novels because, it's necessarily a collectible. Because while they are worth money and while they do have resale value for sure, you'll never see a graphic novel sold at auction. You know what I mean? Like it's a different level of value. But the only reason that I do bag some of my graphic novels is just because I like them. Like that's a specific book that I like a lot, and I want it to be in good condition. I don't like reading books that are all torn up and folded and crappy. Just a personal preference. You don't have to bag your graphic novels by any means, but that's just something I do. Sometimes while I read comics, I'll throw in some headphones, some earbuds, and play some instrumental music or just some ambient sounds, anything at all that kind of just will drown out the rest of the room or the rest of the house or wherever you happen to be at. Maybe you're on a bus or a subway or you're chilling, whatever. Just have some earbuds in with some instrumental type stuff. Some people read and study with, music playing with people rapping and whatever. It kind of takes me out of the story, makes it a little harder to concentrate on what you're reading, but throw some ambient sounds in, some soundtrack. I'll do soundtracks to movies, score tracks, where there's no singing and stuff like that. and it'll add a whole little vibe to it too. You know what I mean? Like, you put the right thing on there, you read your book, and it'll add a whole vibe where you feel, it'll kind of immerse you in the story and whatnot. And that's a good way to kind of stay in the zone and also block out sounds coming from